Hey Bean, welcome back to my channel. How you been? How you holding up right now? I know me personally, I've had better days. But today's topic is going to be the hand salute. So grab yourself some tea and let's get right into it, shall we? Tell me you saw what I'm talking about. Tell me you saw it.
What really matters. And I just want to say thank you
If you didn't, here you go.
for making it happen. Thank you.
I'm speechless. Allow me a few moments to do some housekeeping. First and very foremost, if you don't believe that that is a salute, I will refute some of the most common arguments I've seen online. At the end of the day, if you're willing to learn, then I will give you the information to do so. If you already know, then you can skip past that part. I will leave a marker in the video. I took 3 years of Latin in high school. Part of studying Latin is learning about Roman history and Roman government systems because that's who spoke Latin. And considering it's a dead language, there's no more culture associated with it. We also had to learn about the culture associated with Latin as well. So let's start off with a little history lesson. We learned about the history of Hitler's usage of certain Roman gestures and pieces of Roman culture, as well as Roman government ideologies. One of the things that Hitler took from the Romans was the Roman salute. And when it comes to Latin and Roman salutes and what those gestures look like, there is some room for interpretation because we don't necessarily have all the texts. But like I said, the Roman salute is what Hitler did. Hitler took that from the Romans. And you know what's even crazier? Americans copied how Romans set up their government and changed a couple things, just as you would have in elementary school when you were trying to do your homework and somebody else got the assignment done first and they're like, you can copy it, but you just gotta change up a couple things. And so you like change up a little bit of the wording, but you still have the same answers. Yeah, that's what America did with the Roman government. Which brings me to the most common defenses I've seen of Elon Musk's hand gesture on the internet. One of the ones I've already kind of gone over in the transition. People are saying that it was a Roman salute and not a Nazi salute. Well, I hate to break it to you, but they're the same thing. The other one I've seen a lot of is the Elon is autistic defense. As somebody who is autistic, I just don't agree. Autism doesn't look like that. That's not what autism is. Somebody said this to me. My son is autistic and he's doing this all the time. That is not an inherently autistic behavior. That's a learned behavior. As somebody with autism, I can still see right from wrong. Now, I can see how there might be some parents out there that have this confused because of how similar the acronyms look, but it is very important to know the distinction between antisocial personality disorder and autism spectrum disorder. I just don't see this as an excuse. It's not an excuse, and normal autistic people walking through the world don't get to use that excuse in everyday life. Can you imagine if every time I was late, I said to my boss, oh, it's just because I'm autistic? It doesn't matter if that's the truth or not. I would get fired for that. So why are we giving him the excuse to do a hate crime on national television? I just want to hit it home. Being autistic is never really an excuse unless it's for something that your brain can physically not handle. But we'll play the game of if it was because he's autistic that he did that. We'll play that game. As an autistic person, I can't say that I've never had moments where I've said something socially insensitive. Usually they don't look like Nazi salutes or saying, racist slurs or anything like that. And every single time, I make that mistake, or I do something that hurts other people, and I am told that that was inappropriate, or I can tell because in the video itself, you can hear the crowd go, and so I'm just saying, if that was me up there on that podium, I would immediately feel absolutely humiliated. I'd say, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry about that. And then I would run away because I would be so humiliated that I did that on national television. Being autistic is not an excuse. It can be an explanation, but it is not an excuse. And let's get one thing straight. You have never spoken up for autistic people before in your life. So why is it important that you make a statement about this right now? I'd like you to ask yourself that question. Are you going to be there when they're sending autistic people to concentration camps?
And I'm going to create these wellness farms where they can go get off of illegal drugs, off of opiates, but also legal drugs, off of psychiatric drugs if they want to get off of SSRIs, to get off of benzos, to get off of Adderall.
I wonder who takes Adderall.
3 or 4 years if they need it. To learn to get reparented, to reconnect. Yeah, when I was a kid, every school had shop class. And we went into shop class, we learned electricians, we learned HVAC, we learned to do carpentry.
So are you going to be there making a fuss? Are you going to be there protecting the neurodivergence? No, you're not. Last defense I've seen on the internet has to do with the following clip.
My heart goes out to you.
The last defense is that he was just gesturing, my heart goes out to you. This doesn't hold water because there is recorded evidence of him doing that gesture, not like a Nazi salute. Here it is. There is no excuse for what Elon Musk did. And if that isn't disturbing enough, Elon Musk isn't defending himself. All these defenses I've heard are coming from people defending him. He's not even saying this stuff. They are. They're making this up to defend him. If you're out there right now and you're watching this and you have been defending Elon Musk, please stop doing it. It's insulting. It's insulting to me as a Jewish person. It's insulting to me as an autistic person. No excuse is good enough, and especially not if it's not coming directly from his mouth. I do think that some of the defensiveness around Elon Musk is coming from the absolute shock value of it. I do think there are people out there that are genuinely surprised that Elon Musk would do something like that. I personally am not one of those people. I think this is on par for the course for him. And there are even some people who wonder what type of person would defend Elon Musk doing this. And my only guess is people who think that Hitler just had the wrong people, because I feel like we've all met one of those. If you know a little bit about Jewish history or Holocaust history, you know that the way that it started was through these crude gestures, and there were even people who were making fun of Hitler for doing the salute. But us Americans have the privilege of knowing and being able to read about this story ahead of time. I read 3 books in the process of filming this video, and I've got some prominent quotes, each of which I would love to talk about. So, first one I've got here is, who knows, they might be sending us away for our own good, in chapter 1. This was in the context of Elie and his family being sent away to the internment camps, Auschwitz. This was one of the coping strategies that came from Jews in that time. Part of it is denialism, and then the other part of it is just the straight up fear of, if that is happening right now, then what's going to happen to me? And that's a valid fear. Another quote I found that I thought was really interesting was, he went from house to house talking about what he saw. Nobody believed him. Some insinuated that he was only after sympathy, that he was imagining things. Others flatly stated that he had gone mad. Please listen to me. I do not want your money or pity. Just please listen to me. Even I, Elie Wiesel, did not believe him. The Tale of Moishe the Beetle. There was a warning sign. Moishe the Beetle went on the first round of trains when everyone was getting mass shot. So he was one of the people that experienced the train out into the middle of nowhere, forcing Jews to dig their own mass graves and then shooting them into the graves. He survived that with a shot to the leg, and he came back and he went from house to house trying to warn people. What I want to discuss about that is that there's going to be warning signs. There already are. What Elon did is a warning sign. What is more of a warning sign is somebody literally coming to you and saying, hey, this is what they're doing. And we've had times in the past where the US government was doing horrible things in the immigration camps. Another important quote that I saw from this was, the same hellish sun, the same hellish thirst, but nobody left to bring us water. This part is talking about the starvation and water deprivation of Jews in internment camps. One of the ways that they were able to control so many people was through starvation. When you're skinny and starving, you're more likely to listen to what you're being told to get food. So one of my proposed solutions for this, if this does become like that fated time in World War II, find out where the immigration camps are, try and spread the word as much as you can, but also try and bring them food and water. Another one that really irked me was, I could not believe humans were being burned in our times. The world did not tolerate such crimes. This was prominent to me because it reminded me of how hard it is to cope with trauma in the moment. There is no easy way of going through a traumatic experience. The easiest way to go through it is the most damaging way, which is to completely numb yourself and dissociate. That's what he's doing, but he has to do that to survive. I also did some refreshing on Anne Frank. What I learned from Anne Frank's diary and some of the stuff about her family. So she came from a large group of people. They were all hiding in the annex of a bank, I believe. There were 8 of them in there in total. Once they were found, her younger sister and her mom were both sent to the place where people get burned. And then the Anne Frank herself and Margot Frank, they both died of typhus in February, like 3 months before they were liberated from the Germans. It's pretty sad. She was able to hide for an additional 3 months because they started prepping early. And the warning sign that made them go into hiding was when the Germans demanded that her older sister go to the work camps. If you're a historian, please feel free to comment down in the comments below. I know that I might not have all that accurate. I cannot stress this enough. I've been working on this video for multiple days. I've restarted a couple times. I wanted to get this as good as possible, but towards the end here, I'm kind of rushed. I'm on a time crunch. So the last few things I wanted to make sure I got out in this video is ways that you can get involved right now. First and very foremost, start by cutting things out of your life like Amazon, Walmart, fast food in general. Try to stay off Meta, and that means Facebook and Instagram, okay? I would actually try to get off TikTok as much as possible as well. That app's not right. We're about to hear an expose on it. I just know it. I'm feeling it in the air. So let's move on from TikTok because that place is no longer safe. Another way you can get involved is by talking to your local representatives. So, for example, there was a bill recently proposed in Missouri that allows for the permanent detainment of immigrants. If you live in Missouri, you need to be protesting outside the government offices in your state. You need to be calling your representatives. I will leave a link down below of how to find your local representatives and contact information and where your government building is. I'll leave a link for that. A third way, on January 29th, there's a planned social media blackout protest, which means don't log into any social media whatsoever. Try to use your phone as minimally as possible. Spend that day, I don't know, meditating, reading a good book, maybe even do some crafting. Send me some photos of what you do on Blue Sky, and I might show them in a future video. I do want to keep you guys updated on any future protests that I know of. At the end of these videos, I will leave a screen up with everything that I know of at the moment, and then I will also leave a link to one of the places where people are getting their protest information from down below. But with that being said, I hope you liked today's video. I hope you are taking care of yourself. Remember that meditation is the key to a happy and balanced life. Don't forget to drink your water. I love you. Bye.